I support the Erase the Stigma campaign.
Moi sipote effacer stigma campaign.
Yo apoyo a la campaña Borremos el Estigma.
Hi, I'm Michael Whitehead, and I support the Erase the Stigma campaign.
Hi, I'm Andrea Beth, and I support the Erase the Stigma campaign.
And I support the Erase the Stigma campaign.
Hi, my name is Maritza Zaguirre with Peace of Mind Counseling Services from Wellington, Florida, and I support the Erase the Stigma campaign.
My name is Dr. Louise Stanger. I'm Director of Clinical Relations for Brad Lamb's Intervention Specialists. I hail from California, Los Angeles, and I support the Erase the Stigma campaign.
Most of us, you're no stranger to anxiety, stress, and depression. But what if there were a medicine that could take care of all these problems and many more, now and in the future? Introducing the pill you take once that makes you the best you can be. Fix-It-All. Fix-It-All is not available in North America, South America, Asia, Australia, Africa, Europe, Antarctica, or the North Pole.
In the real world, while some conditions require medication, there's no shortcut to being our best selves. Hard work and good tools can give you the long-term skills to live your life to the fullest. If you're looking for help, talk to a psychologist. Psychotherapy can help you effectively manage stress, anxiety, and depression. Side effects of psychotherapy may include better health, improved relationships, and higher self-esteem. Do not engage in psychotherapy while pursuing miracle cures that do not exist.
The first time I noticed that I might have a mental health issue was at the age of 14. I started experiencing a lot of very strange, sudden onset symptoms that I couldn't identify. Symptoms like extreme stomach pain, I couldn't stop crying, I was experiencing this profound guilt over really, really trivial things. So I was still a child, basically, so I went to my mother and I presented her with these symptoms, you know, like, what's going on, Mom, I'm really sick. And she took me to the pediatrician, and the pediatrician said, I think your daughter's suffering from depression. This is sort of beyond the scope of what I do. You need to take her to a specialist. So we went to a psychiatrist and we went to a therapist. When I went to the psychiatrist and to the therapist, it was clear to them that I was suffering from a form of major clinical depression. Over the years, that diagnosis has sort of changed, and it's been dynamic. You know, it's not always the same over time. For example, now I would classify my mood disorder on the bipolar spectrum, and I've developed anxiety symptoms, but it started out as major clinical depression. Some of the things that really helped me when I was quite young, and now I'm 28, one is the love and support of my parents. My mother is a saint. She always has been. From day one, when the doctor said, this is what you're dealing with, she said, okay, this is what we're dealing with, so we're going to deal with it. You know, she dealt with my father and she helped him understand. She dealt with my school and she helped them understand. So she's really been a warrior for me. My dad, I love my dad. He loves me. But at first he had a really hard time understanding what was happening. He thought, oh, Andrew's being a drama queen, or, you know, she'll snap out of it, or she's just nervous about this thing or that thing or the other thing. And it took him quite a few months, actually, to get a handle on the fact that this was a serious problem. This wasn't something that was going to pass overnight. Because I was able to get help, keep getting help myself, have other people help me, I basically was given a second chance at life. You know, sometimes I think about what would have happened to me if I had been born in the 50s, when there was so much stigma that, you know, there wasn't even really treatment for mental illness. What would have happened to me? Well, the harsh but true answer is I would have died. And that didn't happen because I had this opportunity to get help, to seek treatment, and now I live a full life. Mental illness is never something that's going to go away. Unfortunately, it's something that will always be there. You'll always have to deal with it. You know, I always need to take care of myself. I put my health needs first. You know, whether it's things like I don't drink because it interferes with my medication, or I'm really careful about my sleep because it has a huge impact on my moods. Like, okay, some people would say, well, you don't live fully because you don't go out all night and drink. I say, okay, I don't, but I take care of myself and I live fully in other ways. To everyone who feels that they may be struggling with some sort of mental illness, you need to get help. If you get help, you have a chance at gaining control over your life. If you don't get help, you're denying yourself that chance. When you're getting help, I know it can be a really long, really arduous process. The one thing that I recommend above all else is you cannot lose hope. Hope is what keeps you alive, it keeps you connected to other people, and it reminds you that there's a life out there that's worth fighting for. A little quote from my book. It says, "With hope, all things are possible. Without hope, the beast easily wins." Hi, I'm Andrea Beth, and I support the Erase the Stigma campaign.
Hello, good day, dear friends. Welcome to my office. This is Manaz Chigini here from Chigini Counseling and Consulting. I wanted to spend some time here today and just speak about me, a little bit about what I do here at Chigini Counseling and Consulting, and how it really is linked to education, health, nutrition, well-being, interconnectedness, and inner peace from within per individual and external to the external world. This is of course linked to exercise and nutrition, as in my practice I uphold the belief that a wellness model is based on the whole person, and the whole person as an individual has biological, psychological, and sociological needs and processes. It is the belief here and the philosophy of counselors, psychotherapists, and anyone in the wellness industry linked to psychology and biology, that to have a fully functioning individual in society, you must come to individuation. Individuation means that you have come to know yourself, become aware of the society you live in, and your role in this society. Your role, your purpose actually, as a functional Canadian citizen, for example in Canada, or a functional citizen wherever you are in the world, to give back to the city you live in, and in return giving back to the whole world as a component of one citizenship. So we start at a micro level, meaning that you first understand yourself, your past, and how it's connected to your present and your future. And you understand the society you live in, whether it's Cuba or Dominican or Mexico or Iran or Canada, is regardless. But you understand the way in which you were brought up, the way in which you were educated and socialized, and you come to terms with what we call sociological perspectives, the understanding, the beliefs, the philosophies, the pedagogies that brought you to the point that you are now. And at this point, you become a cognizant individual, meaning that you have become aware of the processes that rely outside of your control up until now. To take this a step further is at this stage of individuation, individuals become self-actualized, meaning that if you take Maslow's hierarchy of needs, you've met your biology, you've met your physical needs, food, safety, shelter, and whatnot. You've then reached an esteem level where you've now hit your emotional needs and your interpersonal skills. You've now taken that a notch up. I want to take you up this pyramid of Maslow's 5-step hierarchy to self-actualization. So I want to help you get from wherever you are, and most people at this point are dealing with stress and tension and negativity, to self-actualization in psychological terms. Now, in spiritual terms, this means knowing the self within, knowing the inner light or the inner divine purpose of who you are. In psychological terms, we call this a fully functioning individual that has come to terms with his or her present, past, and is creating their flow. Flow theory have been created by a psychologist in the 60s. You're in your here and now. You're functioning and you're aware of your cognitions. You're aware of your vibrations. You're aware of that your thoughts are creating your physical reality, and the power of your thoughts all lie in your hands. That you are in control of your here and now, and you are cognizantly creating your next step.
I first noticed when I was 15 years old. I tried to drink. Didn't do it, I wasn't good at it. Maybe 2 or 3 years went by, I did it again. Then I met had a girlfriend, I can say her name. But anyway, she introduced me to cocaine. From cocaine, it became progressively worse. I had started singing in some bands and stuff, because I had started singing. I couldn't even get hired because I had a drug problem. I would show up to work late. I wouldn't go, sometimes I would be 5 minutes late to a gig, and I wouldn't go in the gig because I'd rather get high than to go inside knowing I was 5 minutes late. I stole from my parents. They had a store. I stole from them. The money. So one time my father decided he set a trap for me. Caught me. That was that. And now they stopped leaving the money in the house. They couldn't trust me with that. I drank all the time, all day, and did drugs all day. When I woke up in the morning, that's what I did. That's what I did all day, all night. Whatever money I made, I bought drugs. At this time, I was using crack. I went to go buy some, and I bought from an undercover cop. The same time that I got arrested, they impounded her car. So I had to call her. The police department called her. They told her that I had been arrested. And she said, "Oh, he must have been drinking. You hear tonight?" "No. Oh, Mr. Whitehead, he bought crack cocaine from an undercover officer." Well, she had to come to the police station. They had at the time, they had a camera that you could see the person that was coming to bail you out on a camera inside the jail. I could see her sitting there, and she was crying. She was crying because it surprised her. She had me on such a pedestal, my wife, before that. She had never thought I would do things like that. And never. That's the day I called the drug abuse hotline. They came in, they picked me up. They took me to a rehabilitation center up in Boca Raton. I cried all the way there. I cried because It wasn't because I got caught. I cried because I had to give up my friend. Drugs for my friend. I've been clean 17 years. 17 years. My career, well, I have a band, 2 bands, Eclipse and the Final Countdown Band. We've been together 7 years. I started a company called I Sing Entertainment. Working and trying to work it, make it happen, you know. The advice I would give you is you can get help. It's help out there. Somebody will help you. But you gotta, number one, you gotta want help. You gotta want to stop. You gotta want it. Nobody else can make you stop. Nobody can force you to stop. Nobody can take things from you to stop. You gotta want to stop. It's in you. You gotta want to stop. Hi, I'm Michael Whitehead. I support the Erase the Stigma campaign.